Alrighty guys, and welcome back to another educational form of Dead by Daylight survivor game, and I got the best spawn I could on Father's Chapel because there is a 3-gen guaranteed on this side of the map. The bad news is I'm not going to be able to make a pallet, I'm not going to be able to make a window, I'm not going to be able to defend myself where I currently am, unless I use possibly high knees. I don't really want to stack with Nancy. I know there's a 3-gen over here. Looks like Nancy is actually going to light a totem, and that actually could be really good for me and allow me to get away, especially if it's Hex Boom, Shadow Step, allowing me to have 3% additional movement speed. Killer didn't have Corrupt Intervention, so probability states the killer is going to come straight through the map and get to the opposite side, but they have already found an ally instead. Okay, looks like Nancy and I are going to stack on the gen. We pump the entire toolbox in here. Now, realistically, I say quite often, don't use your toolbox on your first generator. There are certain times when you can. For example, I know there is a guaranteed 3-gen that spawns over here near the circus, right? I don't want the killer to be able to play around this towards the end of the game, and because of that, using my toolbox here at the start is a great option. Alternatively, doing a gen in the middle. It also depends on how much my allies are doing. If my allies are working on a gens, or if they're not working on gens. I'm actually going to get inside a locker. It's not out of my way. Oh, I'm going to get out of the locker. And the reason I'm doing that is because if he had Lethal Pursuer, he would have seen me then. He knows exactly where everyone was, so he has most likely barbecue and chili, or something to reveal, or is like bitter murmur. We're not 100% sure. What we do know is she might be in a bit of trouble here. I kind of want to take a follow-up hit for her, but the reason I'm not going to is 2 reasons, right? Has she ever been hooked? No. How many teammates are currently working on objectives? None. So if I'm over there taking a hit, how much pressure does a killer have on the lobby when there are 4 players and each player is worth 25%? They technically have pressure on all 4 players because no one's doing any form of objective. Now the killer has pressure on how many players? Realistically 2, because 2 players aren't doing gens, the one on the hook and the one walking on the far right hand side. This is very important in your solo queue games if you're going to want to walk away with your win. You're going to want to make sure that you're able to constantly keep the pressure up. Now the good news about this guy is he's seen 2 people, he's taken 2 chases. So if you're able to loop this guy for a long time, he might overcommit to a bad chase for him. Looks like he's rotating to my teammate to the middle. I would have liked to have filled my toolbox. It's a very good thing I got out of the locker because it felt like he had some kind of aura reading. So that would have been very detrimental or devastating for us. Looks like he doesn't see me. He didn't go back to the hook. He might have actually went for a shot. Nancy looks like she wants to go through a chest rather than be healed by the guy who hook saved her, which I find a very interesting decision. She did want to go through the chest originally, so it does make sense. My other teammate now has pressure on them, so the killer has pressure on 75% of the lobby. I want to let you guys know that this is a full solo queue lobby, so a good amount of split pressure. It can happen, but it is kind of rare in solo queue. If you notice, her ping went to red when she went down. It's very inconvenient. Now she's on death hook. Nancy's most likely relighting the same totem. The other gentleman over there has given up. So this is going to be a really hard game to come back from, but we're going to try our best. We know that there are multiple gens nearly done right now. Totem has been lit. Let's complete this. I don't want to save the bot, but what I do want to do is I want to fill my toolbox and I want to rush the rest of his gen. It is going to lead to a 3-gen. That's really bad movement by me. I was assuming he would go towards the gen that was nearly done, based on the fact my teammate stopped working on the generator. That was a bit of a awkward play by me. I'm still going to have to run over here, and I'm going to have to try and work on this gen. See, I assumed the killer would go straight for this, not go to the far left where there was nothing. It made sense for him to go to the generator that was nearly completed, but he came from an awkward angle I didn't expect. Now, the best thing that can happen here is she runs him away from this. He entered chase with me, hence the music got really loud with me. Let's see if he noticed. Alright. Awesome for Nia to wait around and jump on this. I really wish she jumped on it straight away because it wasn't being regressed. She could have probably finished it while the other guy's being chased. Now we do have a bot, which is unfortunate. Teammate's going to be able to heal me. It's a hex circle boom of healing, so she's healing, she's healing 100% faster, which is really good. I want to do the gen in the middle of the map, but I can't actually waste the time doing the middle gen because at least it's on a platform above the killer. It's going to be a 3-gen, not on the platform. Oh man, every time, eh? That's twice I made a hiccup. Alright, he found Nia and not me. I probably would have made the pallet. He could have got the hit on me with his ability, but then I wouldn't have dropped the pallet. If he went for the M1, he wouldn't have made the M1. A few different choices. I do want to get inside a locker because it is going to refill the toolbox and it is going to make me do more quicker. The good news here is the bot is healing itself. The bot does respond based off the terror radius of the killer, so if the killer never comes to an area, it puts the bot in a really awkward situation. I'm actually going to try and let the killer see me. That's the best thing that could happen. Now, the reason I say that... Oh, no. I wanted to pull the killer away from my allies doing the gen. That was really unfortunate. I didn't know what gen she was on. What I do know is he's going to go over there. He's going to see her after he kicks the generator. Gen was on my left, not on my right. I'm going to try and finish it with the toolbox. And that means he still will have a 3 gen, but it incorporates the generator in the middle of the map upstairs. The person he's chasing is not on death hook. I see a player coming, so I'm going to use my hands. Hey, do you want to help me on this? Nice. Bot's looking for a heal. Bot's going to get the heal that they want. This is actually going really well, considering that we had a player DC when they got caught. Team's holding it together well. The reason the unknown isn't playing as great is what is he doing every single chase? Looks like he even has deadlocks. He has a build around committing to tunnels. The reason it's not going well for him is because that's exactly what he's doing. He's tunneling. Now, if we have one inside the shack, it was a dream. If not, it's probably past the shack. Right, this is in a really awkward spot. As you can see, I'm not going to be able to make anything without taking a hit by the killer. Very inconvenient. The best thing I can do is try and force the killer to use his shot, his special ability, and then run. I don't like the idea of my teammate camping a pallet. He checked the gen and he instantly ran because he saw the gen was low. That's okay. I'd love to break his clone, but I'm not going to waste the time. I'm going to jump straight on the gen. Got a teammate lighting a totem again in the middle for the 4th time. It's not really good. The good news here, though, is I have a toolbox about rushing through objectives as quickly as possible. Okay? Now, to that degree, you'll notice I have near no boldness with the killer, but what I do have is I have a lot of time applying pressure towards objectives. You notice the bot hasn't touched the generator because the 3 gen is roughly around an area where the killer is not going to leave, so the heartbeat's constantly going to be going off. The bot's on a gen now, and because the bot's on a gen, I highly doubt it's on the gen in the middle of the map. I reckon it's on the gen to the right-hand side. I could be wrong. We're about to find out on Kindred. Let's find out if the bot did respond. Maybe the heartbeat was shifted. No pain res. So the bot... I'm not even sure where the bot is. The bot's all the way... That's not the bot. The bot's with me, sorry. The other guy is all the way over there. Now, the bot's going to instantly jump on a door. I'm not going to. I'm going to try and come to the closer door. Or I might actually get forced out here. Looking for a shot through the window. Looks like it's not going to happen. This is okay. No, it wasn't close enough to that, so you weren't going to get that. I didn't even need to high knees because he lunged early. The bot's prepping the door. I'd like to not leave. The door is open. I know he needs to hit me twice unless he has no ed. So I'm going to run around again. Okay, we're just going to wait on the corner here. All I'm doing now is I could easily make it out. Hopefully he doesn't hit me with no ed. The reason I haven't ran for the door is because the other 2 players are still in the trial. Notice I stand on the corner where I can see through that doorway and I can see through that one. I had one player run past. I can't help but think that means the other players are ready to leave. Looks like the guy's going to teleport away. Okay, he took a shot on his ability. I'm still waiting on the other guy. I'm not sure what he's doing. Oh, he's over here by this door. He's taken a shot. And it looks like the killer can't follow up on anyone. And we're all going to be able to walk away here. Anyways, guys, that's going to be an educational, informative Dead by Daylight Survivor game. So it even goes to show you, if there is a DC and you do have a bot in the game, that you are able to come together and work as a team. When I say come together, do you notice what my team did very well? Now, in the reality, if we look at the points here, I have 10,000 for objective and only 4.8 for boldness. I never used a pallet, and I realistically avoided the killer. I didn't go out of my way to avoid the killer. I walked into him once because I assumed he went towards the generator as opposed to just coming from an open area, but it makes sense because he probably had a clone in the open area and he came back from the clone, right? So all I did was make sure that there was almost no downtime and I applied pressure towards the objectives. If you notice the Nancy quite often, that game, between 4 and 5 times, she was constantly lighting totems and searching chests as opposed to applying the pressure towards the objectives. Now, it worked out at the end of the day, but keeping in mind, if Nancy was working on the gens like I was, that would have been a much harder game for the killer. Now, the reason the game didn't go smoothly for the killer was because he overcommitted to chases. Whenever he found a player, he had to stick to them like glue until he caught him. That is referred to as tunneling, and that is an okay playstyle, providing you run the respectable perks that allow you in order to tunnel. For example, perks like deadlock. You lose an objective, the next closest generator to being completed is locked, aka deadlock. Or alternatively, you're eliminating a player out of the trial because you've lost multiple objectives and it's easier to micromanage 3 players than 4. You're running perks like Pain Res, Dead Man Switch, Grim Embrace. These perks all reward you for unique hooks on players. So when I use the terminology tunnel, I'm referring to committing to one said chase. So if you chase a player at the start of the game for 2.5 minutes and catch them, that is essentially a tunnel. It's not just tunneling off of the hook, because you are committing to sacrificing your objectives in order to chase the one player. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the educational informative DBD Survivor content, make sure you tune into the live stream. I do educational informative DBD Killer and Survivor content over at Twitch if you guys want to pop on in. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the fog in the next video. Have a good one. Cheers.